Welcome to Wrestling, your home for wrestling news and breakdowns. In the closing moments of the men's War Games match at Survivor Series 2025, a man dressed all in black climbed the cage, launched himself into the ring, and attacked CM Punk with a brutal sequence. A lightning super kick followed by curb stomp-style finish that left Punk down and the heels able to cash in on the moment. WWE's official results later reflected the utter confusion in the heel team celebrating amidst that interference. If you were watching live, the moment looked like a calculated hit. The intruder's scaled metal struck with intent and vanished back over the structure before anyone could make sense of it. The match had been wild already. Big names, big spots, but that masked moment felt designed to do more than change a match outcome. It was a story seed. Within hours, wrestling outlets and insider sites began investigating who the masked figure was and why he targeted CM Punk that night. By the next morning, reporting coalesced. The mystery man was likely Austin Theory, a return from absence with a purpose. Multiple outlets that have been tracking the angles, from Fightful and PW Insider to mainstream pieces in Forbes and ESPN, pointed to Austin Theory as the most likely candidate behind the mask. Eyewitness moments and the way the attacker moved and delivered certain signature-looking spots led many analysts to the same name. WWE's own Aftermath coverage and the hot takes across sports pages all treated Theory as the prime suspect, and further behind-the-scenes reporting suggested he was being reinserted into television in a way that would immediately put him at the center of a major storyline. That's a big move for someone who's been off TV intermittently this year. Here's where fact and rumor meet in a scrum. Some reports and social threads allege that the masked attacker didn't act alone, that this was part of a larger plan and that Roman Reigns had a hand in bringing in the muscle. Let's be precise. At the time of this script being written, reputable insiders have confirmed the attacker's likely identity and noted backstage chatter that the interference was orchestrated to benefit the heel side. However, concrete on their confirmation that Roman directly hired the attacker is not uniformly established. Instead, you'll find a mix of reporting that frames this as part of Roman's larger strategic bounce or in service to Bloodline-related machinations. In short, there's strong evidence the attack was planned and that it helped the heel agenda, but direct sourcing tying Roman's personal order to the hit remains a mix of firm reporting and industry speculation. Rumors of Bloodline additions have swirled all year. The faction has been a storytelling magnet since its inception, and WWE has repeatedly used surprise allies and family ties to shift power dynamics. The talk after Survivor Series was this masked man introduced as a de facto new member of a Roman-led faction, or just a hired muscle who conveniently works with Roman's goals. Some outlets treating the identity as Austin Theory pointed to prior teases and casting decisions that would make Theory a natural fit for either the Vision or a retooled Bloodline offshoot. Others caution that WWE often deploys new member language loosely, meaning the attacker could be a temporary storyline insertion rather than a canonical Bloodline inductee. We need to keep the distinction sharp. Being used in one spot doesn't always equal official faction membership. CM Punk has been one of WWE's most volatile narrative anchors over the past seasons. Unpredictable, vocally defiant, and irresistible to heel provocation. In storyline terms, Punk threatens both Roman's perceived authority and the heel faction's plans. An attack on him serves three functions. It weakens a top face, it creates instant dramatic heat for the heels, and it provides a splashy reveal that can be packaged as a turning of the tide. From a backstage booking perspective, Punk is the kind of target whose attack yields maximum storyline mileage, promos, rematches, faction responses, and lots of internet debate. That's presumably why the attacker's blow was aimed squarely at Punk and not another babyface. WWE, the best way to parse the moment is to slow it down. Camera pans show the mass figure on the structure. The attacker times the descent when attention is fragmented. Super kick lands like a cinematic strike. The finishing blow follows, and then the escape. The logistics alone required coordination. Someone had to be ready to carry the masked pieces, climb the structure, and be out before production could scramble the safety nets. That level of precision screams planning. On screen, the visuals were designed to hide identity while maximizing impact. Off-screen, it reads like a calculated insertion to shift crowd momentum and give heels a narrative trump card. If Roman Reigns is indeed tied to the plan, what would he stand to gain? In storyline logic, Roman benefits in many ways. Eliminating a major vocal opponent, Punk removes a disruptive narrative element. Installing a muscle for hire or a new Bloodline member expands Roman's influence while signaling he can still manipulate outcomes without being in the ring 24/7. And the ambiguity around whether the attacker is a true member buys Roman leverage in backstage negotiations. The idea is classic. Control the board, control the story. Whether WWE intends to make Roman look like a mastermind or a desperate power player will determine how fans react in the weeks to come. ESPN.com Austin Theory's name keeps surfacing for good reason. Prior teases his in-ring style, and insider chatter painted him as a potential faction fit. He's the sort of performer WWE can repackage quickly. Athletic, youthful, and able to play both smug heel and opportunistic underling. Multiple reporting outlets noted that Theory's return from absence could have been planned as a moment of high drama, and the mass attacker's moves matched what many believed were Theory's physical flourishes. For the creative team, Theory's return as an anonymous disruptor creates immediate buzz and leaves room to decide whether to make him a permanent faction member or a one-off narrative device. The moment was tailor-made for social amplification. Clips of a hit were edited into reaction reels, spliced into Did You See That timeline posts, and remixed into meme formats within an hour. Some fans praised the shock value and the immediate drama. Others sniffed a stunt and asked for an on-screen explanation. The venom was strong in comment sections. Die-hard Punk supporters demanded justice. Conspiracy threads tried to tie Roman to every backstage decision. And the "who was it" debate dominated the first 12 hours of wrestling Twitter. Wrestling News WWE role here is to synthesize those reactions into a single narrative rather than get lost in the noise. Fans expect better explanation and payoff, and that expectation will fuel the next week of TV. Cape seats for pro wrestling fans. WWE has a palette of options. They can reveal the attacker as a full Bloodline inductee, tightening Roman's grip and prompting Punk versus Roman personal vendettas. B. Present the attacker as a hired gun that Roman denies. A classic plausible deniability plot that keeps the audience guessing. C. Pivot and reveal someone unexpected entirely using Theory as a red herring. Or D. Use the attack as the catalyst for an extended program where Punk chases answers, forcing confrontations and heated promos. The best outcome from Sublex Saga's perspective. WWE commits to a logical thread that pays off over months rather than a single cheap swerve. TJR Wrestling. If you're booking Punk's revenge, you build it on emotion and evidence. Start with raw promos where Punk demands cameras, nomming the attacker and railing against both the mystery and anyone who would hide behind it. Have Punk demand retribution that forces WWE to put a name on the offense. A reveal contract signing could be classic TV. In the ring, book Punk to survive ambushes as he hunts for justice, and finish with a marquee singles match where Punk either exposes the attacker or exacts symbolic retribution on Roman's lieutenants. The key is agency. Punk must feel like the pursuer, not the passive victim. Wehrman's on-screen response will shape fan buy-in. He can either 1. Coldly deny involvement and mock Punk leaning into the "I'm above that" aura, or 2. Play a subtler game, admit tactical benefit but claim no hands-on involvement. From a character perspective, the more Roman keeps control of the narrative, and the more ambiguous he is about involvement, the more compelling the storyline. WWE should avoid a quick unearned apology or a single promo that settles everything. The power is in sustained ambiguity and slowly peeling back motives. ESPN.com reintroducing or expanding the Bloodline or a Bloodline offshoot has massive upside, star power, instant heat, and a legacy tag that resonates with fans. But it's risky. Oversaturation dilutes meaning, and shoehorning a new member in a single angle can feel manipulative. The storytelling sweet spot is slow integration. Let the attacker's identity be a turning point that forces internal Bloodline drama, loyalty tests, and long-term friction. That's how you keep viewers invested beyond the initial reveal. Wikipedia: here's our bold call. The attacker is Austin Theory, used as either a short-term tool to tilt a major match and then be pulled into a larger vision Bloodline narrative, or be a seeded long-term induction into Roman's orbit. Expect a deniable reveal initially. Roman says he had nothing to do with it, followed by evidence dripped over weeks that ties Roman's circle to the hit. The payoff will likely be an explosive confrontation on a major Raw or SmackDown, with either Punk exacting personal retribution or Roman double-crossed by his new protege. Either outcome gives WWE material to run for months. If Suplex is breaking this story down, treat it like an investigative dossier. Open with a viral clip. Play it at half speed. Circle the physical details that match Theory's previous moves, then present the timeline of reporting with source graphics, intercut fan reaction, drop in quick expert takes from insider outlets, and end with a clear set of predictions and what to watch for next. Keep the video tight. The hook, the evidence, the analysis, the prediction, and the call to action. That's the structure that hooks watch time and common engagement. Forbes: over the next 2 weeks, monitor these items. 1. Any official WWE statement or vignette addressing the attack. 2. Theory status on television and possible backstage segments. 3. Roman's promos and how he frames his relationship with any new allies. 4. CM Punk's public response on WWE TV and social. And 5. Insider confirmations. PW Insider Fightful that either corroborate or contradict the initial Theory identification. Those data points will determine whether the angle is a long game or a quick stunt. Be the source that doesn't just repeat rumors. Verify them. Publish a quick "we broke it down" clip within hours. Then follow with a 2-part deep dive once more reporting solidifies identity and motive. Encourage comments. Who do you think the attacker is? And if Roman ordered it, what should Punk do next? Use polls, timestamp clips, and a follow-up live stream to digest new developments. Fans don't just want hot takes. They want curation that respects the nuance of wrestling storytelling. Caged Seeds for pro wrestling fans: a reminder. Professional wrestling storytelling blurs reality and fiction. When we discuss Roman hired the attacker, we're operating in TV logic unless hard evidence confirms backstage reality. Wrestling News WWE has to balance excitement with responsibility. Call out when something is confirmed, label when something is insider rumor, and avoid conflating on-screen villain with a performer's real-life character. That respect for the line builds credibility with viewers. ESPN.com. This mass attack is more than a one-off stunt, it's a lever. If used intelligently, it can spawn fresh feuds, elevate marginal talent, and deepen Roman's character in unexpected ways. If used sloppily, it will register as a cheap swerve, and fans will be rightfully frustrated. The promise here is clear. A mystery attacker creates a long tail of narrative possibilities, and WWE's job is to choose the version that rewards patience and pays off emotionally. Wrestling News WWE will be tracking every reveal, every denial, and every locker room implication, and will tell you what it all means. We've broken the clip down, checked the reporting, and sketched the most likely creative paths. Now we want you, the Wrestling News WWE community, to weigh in. Do you believe Roman pulled the strings, or was the attacker working for someone else entirely? Who should Punk face first on his road to revenge? Drop your take below. Smash like if you want a follow-up deep dive, and subscribe for the aftermath video where we connect the dots as official confirmations arrive. This story is unfolding live, and Wrestling News WWE will be the place to watch it grow. See you on the next breakdown.